My grandfather said, when you turn 40, you better have 200 cars, old stuff. Like, okay. So I made it happen. When I turned 40, I had 214 automobiles.
Well, dang, Joey, I didn't know you had all this.
Yes, sir.
Well, where should we start at?
Just kind of anywhere you would like to.
Is there a start and a finish, you think, or is there like a?
Yeah, we can just
Start with this white one right here. What's this one right here?
We can start right here.
Yep.
Be great.
Was that a 53?
53, little 6-cylinder standard shift. Belonged to one of my buds. My buddy grandfather bought it brand new, 1953. It's been around a long time.
I like the visor on that car.
Yeah, the sun visor was kind of different. That was an option, so that was pretty cool.
Now, how did you acquire all of these cars?
I just got out of high school, and my grandfather said when I turned 40 years old, I should have 200 cars stashed back. And he said, when you get 65, you sell.
Everything?
And that was my grandfather's idea. He was very, very smart. He's a mechanic, heavy equipment operator. My grandfather was very intelligent. He got me started this. He told me don't smoke and don't drink, and he said you really need to leave women alone, but 2 out of 3 wasn't bad. 2 out of 3 wasn't bad. So,
Well, this is a Nash Metropolitan behind us, right?
So yeah, I had a limb fall out of the tree on the little corner part of it, but yeah, it was a little running driving car. It's a 1960 model, 4-cylinder standard shield.
Man, it's still got the original hubcaps on there and everything.
It's an original car, but 1960.
Now, are these cars for sale?
Possibly I could sell some stuff, I guess.
Out of this bunch?
I sell something every once in a while. It's kind of like having money in the bank, you know?
Yeah.
When I think I need a little money, I come out here and I sell something, and I buy me something else.
Sure, I totally understand that. Well, I see you got it looks like a Roadrunner or GTX over here.
Yeah, I drove a Demon in high school, so I really favor Mopar stuff, and I did Ford and Chevys, but I really look at Mopar. But
So this is a 69
This is a
here.
68.
Oh, 68.
It's a 68.
Okay, how do you tell the difference?
If you always look at a 68, the marker lights are round in 68 only.
Yep.
And they're rectangular in anything else.
Okay.
But this is a 68, and one of my friends, my brother's lady that he went to school with, she bought this brand new in my hometown. It's 383 automatic. This is a Vivian car, you know, whatever. But this was a hometown car, and I've had it forever. And I grew up in the generation when the people that bought these cars knew, well, they wore them out, and then I came along, so I bought all the wore out cars.
Sure.
You know, when they got rid of them, I bought them.
Well, see, we get a lot of people that leave comments like, oh, why did they leave that car there or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, these cars were only designed to go about 100,000 miles and then they were done.
No, yeah, they were just throwaway cars.
Exactly.
You know, they were cheap throwaway cars.
It's not like cars today where you can take them 200,000-300,000 miles.
These,
I mean, these were kind of like
a lot of these cars, 70,000 miles, and they were wore out. They were wore out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
they were wore out.
This is a 70 right
That's
here,
a 70 Roadrunner, 383. It has factory air, but it's kind of an odd car. It's blue on blue, but it has a pistol grip 4-speed console, and it has factory air, and that was really unusual. It don't have any power steering, it don't have any power brakes or nothing, but it's a 4-speed car, and it had air conditioning. Yeah, it had air conditioning.
Oh, air conditioning,
It's a factory tack. You got a factory tack and air conditioning, but you don't get power steering, power brakes or nothing. I mean, I didn't understand that order, but
I like the seats. They
But
got a little checker pattern.
It's just no
in the
original
seats, too.
car. It was 1970. I've had it for years and years and never done anything with it. And so that was.
Well, see, I'm learning with you guys, and I can tell the next one's a 68 because the round side marker lights, right?
Round marker lights, 68 only. My cousin bought this 68 brand new. It's a 383 automatic with factory air. One guy told me there's only 1,400 made two-door hardtop with factory air. There's one of 1,400 built.
Now, this is not a post car.
So
'cause I think
this
they
is
had
a two-door hardtop.
Yeah, they have post cars in 68, right?
The first 6 months was a post car.
Okay.
And then in mid-year, Roadrunner went to a two-door hardtop. They made 15,000 two-door hardtops, and they made over 29,000 post cars the first year. Then in 69, they made like 82 or 84,000 Roadrunners in 69.
Now, is this a silver GTX?
And this is a 68 GTX. It's a 440 automatic.
Man, look at that logo down there at the bottom. We aren't going to see that very often.
It's a 68 GTX. It's 375 horse, 440.
Okay.
And
this was the top of the line, right?
It was. They always call that the gentleman's muscle car, but they're more luxury and better carpet and all that. But
So while we have these two sitting next to each other, these are the same car, right?
they're the same basic car.
These are the same car, but this is the high-end model, the
Yeah.
GTX, and this
Right.
is the Roadrunner middle version, right?
And you can only get a 383 or a 426 Hemi in a Roadrunner 68. That's only two engine options.
Okay.
Okay, in a GTX, the only two engine was 440, 375 horse, and a Hemi.
And a Hemi.
Yeah, in
Yep.
68. But you couldn't get a 383 in a GTX. Yeah. They only come with 440 and a Hemi in 68.
Well, that looks like a Cornet RT right
That was
here.
a 67 Cornet RT. It's a 440 automatic car, two-door hardtop.
You see the Cornet badges or the RT badges down the side.
It was, and the RT stands for road and track.
Yeah. Man, you have some good stuff out
So
here.
that was pretty cool. But I figured when I got old, I'd sell out like my grandfather told me, but I haven't done that yet.
Well, I see the 55 section down here, and what, this is a 67 Charger?
67.
67?
Yeah, 67 Charger.
They're different.
And and I always liked the Duke Boys style, 68 up.
Yeah, yep. They get a little more love. Hold
And
on.
I had a 70 model Charger for a long time. My brother just begged and I let him have it. And that's the closest I've ever had to that body style. I had 170 model. And back in the day, my first old car when I was 18 years old, I had a 55 two-door
Oh, that was
hardtop.
your first car, okay.
And that's what got me into 55s. And 20 years ago, I had 12 55 Chevy cars up here, 3 two-door hardtops. And I had one man come in and he run his lips and he
Walked away with them then, huh?
He bought 7
7.
at one time. He bought 7 cars
Holy
out of
smokes.
Dallas. They bought 7. So I went back and then I bought a few more and I still have probably 7 right now. I probably have 7 55s altogether.
Is this a Belvedere? What is this?
That was a 67 Belvedere.
Yep.
I drove that back in the old days.
Oh, it's still got the original hubcaps on it.
And I made a sleeper out of it. And I drove it for a while, but it was a 318 two-barrel car with an automatic. And I changed it up and we drag raced a Mustang and he outrun me 2 weekends in a row. And that just really hurt my feelings. And so I took a GTX running gear, 67 GTX, 440, 375 horse engine and built it. And transmission and rear end 355 Positrack. And we made a clone GTX out of it basically. And I got to race the Mustang again and I hurt his feelings that time. Yeah, there was no comparison.
Does it still have the 440 in it now?
It still has a 440 in it.
Okay.
I started pulling the engine out. I was gonna put it in another car and just gave up on it. And too much things in life going on. It's a 54.
54?
Yes,
Ford?
53. Yes, 50, maybe a 53. Flathead V8 center shield. One of my dad's buddies had that truck since 1974.
Holy
And
smokes.
he died years back. And I went over and bought the truck. But when I was a kid growing up, he drove it. He was an auto parts manager. He managed the auto parts store in town. And I used to see this truck every day sitting at the auto parts store. And I told the man, I said, if you ever sell that truck, I'm gonna get it. And sure enough, before he died, he called me and I bought the truck.
What'd you pay for something like this?
I give $500 for it.
$500?
Yeah, I give $500 for it years ago. But it was running, driving truck. Yeah, it run and drive when I brought it home. This was the first big truck I ever drove in my
truck.
life.
Gotcha.
I was 14 years old. It belonged to a guy I know that owns an oil company. And I used to drive, I worked for the for him 5 or 6 years, and I drove it in the oil field days. I drove it, and then when he sold it, I bought it. But it's 55 is the first year for the Chevy V8 to come back.
Yep.
And it has a 265 V8 Granny 4-speed in it. It's a V8 truck, so I always wanted to make a rollback out of it and haul my cars to car shows and stuff, and I just.
Oh, it would make a sweet rollback for sure.
I've had so much going on in life, and you work, and you don't have time to do a lot of stuff. This is just a hobby thing.
I see a car under the carport over here. What's the story on that one?
I drove it in there a long time ago. It's a 68 GT Dart.
Oh, it's just the GT, okay.
It's just a GT, but it's a convertible.
Right.
And
that's pretty rare then.
So the convertibles, I didn't see a lot of those growing up when I was a kid, but we played with it a long time, and it had a 273 V8 2-barrel with console automatic originally, and power top and all, but I got tired of all that, so I put a 69 Dart Swinger running gear under it. It has everything is Dart Swinger, 340 4-barrel, 4-speed, Pos track, 8 3/4, 355 sure grip rear end. I drove it and I like sleeper stuff, so it has hubcaps and all on it. And I didn't put mag wheels and stuff on it. I just, it's kind of a sleeper for convertible.
Yeah, so you got the
because the little 340 engine was very hot. That was a pretty quick car. They were good fun cars.
What do you got over here, Joey? I mean, this is something we don't really see very often on the channel.
Back in the old days, I got tired of laying under the car helping my dad change oil and stuff in the truck. So I talked to my dad and I said, let's build us a rack that we can drive out on. So this was in like 1967. We built this rack so I could drive out and change oil in my car and stuff. And
you change oil underneath here.
And we stand under it and change everything. That was really cool. But it's been here since 1967.
When's the last time you think you used this?
My little brother used it a couple months ago. I mean, 3/4 ton Ford truck, he drives out on it and changes oil. I bought a 67 Camaro one time, 327 2-barrel, 3-speed in the floor. Okay, I bought it. The car was running and driving, but I didn't drive it. The man I bought it from, he drove it up on my car trailer. Okay, he drove it up on the trailer. Yeah. So I brought it home, okay. Well, I'm gonna change oil and I'm gonna service the car.
Yeah.
I'm gonna service the car.
Just bought it.
Well, I get up here and the car wouldn't start. It won't start. The battery, something happened to the old battery. I had a junk battery in it and we boosted it off down there to get it running, but it wouldn't start, so I said, I just push it out on the rack.
Sure.
I'd never drove this car. I put it on the rack. Me and my brother, we pushed it out on the rack. So I went ahead and got another battery, and the next day I got the battery for our new battery.
Yeah.
And we changed oil and serviced the car out. We're gonna drive this car. I mean, it's just a driver. I mean, it's just no car, but it's a driver. Standard shift in the floor. I get in the car. My brother's standing right along in here. He gonna tell me to back off, which way turn the tire, don't run off, blah blah blah. I put this thing in reverse and I give it a little gas and I jump off the clutch. Somebody had put the linkage on wrong on the transmission. So when I put it in reverse, it was in first. It was in first gear. And I almost drove off the end of the rack. It went forward instead of backing up. When I gassed it and come off that clutch, it went forward. And it didn't I'm talking about 6 inches going off the rack.
Have to change your
He
doors
said,
after that.
why didn't you put it in reverse? I said, I did. He said, something wrong. I said, I put it in reverse and it went forward. And sure enough, the linkage on the transmission was swapped. And, oh, that was scary. I almost drove off the rack on a Camaro.
Yeah, that's a pretty good ways down.
Oh yeah, that would have totaled my darn car. You know it.
Probably would have totaled you too.
Oh yeah, that hurt my feelings. Yeah, that's pretty cool though. But we changed the transmission linkage and the car ran fine. This is a little 56. I used to have a 2-door Post 56, pretty decent car. And I bought a 56 4-door for parts car. And then I kept buying trucks and vans back when I was young. Most of the trucks and vans that I know of, they have 4-bolt main engines in them, 350s and stuff. So I bought them, just for the engines and stuff. But eventually I just kept everything, and then it got out of hand, and then the trees grew up through my truck.
Yeah, I see that on this one. Holy crap.
Yeah, that got out of hand right there.
It came up right through the frame back there.
Yeah. At least I don't have to worry about nobody stealing my truck.
How long do you think this has been sitting here?
I know it's been there 20 years.
20 years?
Yeah, I know it's been 20 easy.
I was going to say that
I know
tree
it's been
looks
20.
a little bit bigger than 20 years.
Because it sat up here for a long time and there wasn't no tree in it. And then the tree grew. So it's been a long time.
And then this is a Cornet over here. It's a 383 car?
383, it's a Super B.
Oh, Super B.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's
Okay.
a real Super B.
Well, 383 would be a Super B, right?
And it's a Cornet Super B,
Yep,
you know,
yep.
it's a Cornet Super B. It's 383 automatic car, and the engine's still in it. But they used it for a parts car, and I was the age, everybody, when they parted them out and left them, that's when I got to buy them. You know, I didn't get to buy one new.
It's
I
missing
wasn't old
its
enough
B.
to buy one new.
I was trying to see if it still had
Yeah,
its B
somebody
on-
got the emblem off of it.
That's the first thing stolen off
That's
of these.
right, that's
Yep,
right.
Yep.
But
I,
it was-
I think they're made of a different metal too. And
Yeah,
that's,
but it's a real Super B.
Yeah.
And it's that green, that's that impact color green, but yeah, it was real.
Well, there's that demon.
Yeah, and I wish my door read a lot better, but it said blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh,
That was a nice car back in the day. It was
Yeah.
pretty. It was pretty when I parked it, but I was getting rushed in my quarter panels when I parked it. But I have the matching number motor and everything. It's 340. It's 340 car. It's gold and black, original. And I drove that car. I used to drag race at Hallsville, Texas. I drag raced that car for a while. And it said blood, sweat, and tears on the side. And
You don't really see gold demons that often.
that was pretty cool.
There's a Super B.
There's another Super B, and that was
Yeah.
another 68 Roadrunner.
There's the B logo right
Yeah,
here.
that's a real, it's a 383 automatic car.
Bulge hood car. Yep. Oh, it got hit in the back end. or
Yeah, the
something.
tree fell on it. Gonna make a race car. My buddy's making a race car out of it, and he's already hulling it out, and
Yeah.
then the tree fell on it.
See that? Yeah.
But it was a real B.
Well, that's a Pinto over there.
Yeah, that's the only one I have out of my collection. And my first wife, we had a 74 Pinto station wagon, and we drove it in nice car. And later in life, I sold it and got a pickup truck later. And years and years and years ago, I came across this little runabout. It's like a 76 model, 75. And I just kept it because it was a Pinto. Everybody threw them away, you know.
Yeah.
They were
Well,
throwaway
blew
cars. When it got 50, 60,000 miles on it, it was pretty well wore out.
Now that's a pretty cool truck right there. That Chevy Apache.
Yeah.
With all the leaves
one,
on it?
One of my dad's good buddies, he bought that brand new in my hometown, 1959, 6-cylinder standard shield
Look how
It's
look
a
how
half
much
ton
it's
Apache.
in the ground.
in the ground.
Yeah.
I drove that truck up here when I was 21 years old, and I drained the water out of it. The radiator was leaking. My dad wouldn't help me fix a radiator. I didn't know how to fix a radiator. I was 21 years old, and I drove it up here and parked it right here. I drained the water out of the engine, and I got the battery, and I toted the battery all the way back to the barn down there at the shop.
Okay.
And it's been sitting here since I was 21 years old. I'm 66.
Yeah.
It's been sitting right here. And years, there were no trees, and then finally the trees took over.
That's
But
got a
it was a
killer
running,
look.
driving
Yeah.
truck. I was driving a truck. It just had a hole in the radiator. I'd have to put water in it every couple of days. I wrecked my little Red Express. I've had 3 little Red Express trucks. I've had 3, okay? A couple of nice trucks, one owner,
I love
nice,
little Reds,
air conditioning, everything. I sold all this stuff years back, but those trucks didn't do good.
Oh, no?
6 miles to the gallon.
Oh.
I put a big cam and all in mine.
Yeah.
And a big carburetor and all that stuff and headers and all that. I got 6 miles per gallon.
Passing everything but the gas station.
I couldn't afford to drive it anymore.
What in the world is this right
That
here?
was a 70 Challenger SE. It had like a 6 or 7 way power seat and all in it.
Oh.
And we sold a seat for $750.
That's probably more than the whole car was.
The car wasn't worth nothing. But we got the car and sold the seat out of it and just kept the rest of it.
Original Hemi orange car?
But it's a factory orange car.
Yeah.
But
Holy
yeah,
cow.
I can't believe they made a dirt tracker out of it.
Yeah, well, they did something with it.
That is just unheard of. Why would you do a SE, you know? But
For those at home that don't know, an SC is a special
you know, back
edition.
in the day, they were just old cars, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just old cars. 57 Ford, and the story behind it, the guy cut the back end off the car and made a couch for his house. I mean, why would you cut a back end off of a good car?
It was a 2-door post,
It was a 2-door post car, yeah. And
I didn't know if it was converted to a truck or what
no,
happened here.
they just cut the back end off of it. And he he did a couch for a shop and all that.
Well, I got to get my camera guy to turn around on this one because I don't think I've seen this.
This was an old wrecker.
This is a tow truck.
This is a tow truck back in the day, and it's been sitting here for years, and a tree grew up around the pulley where the cable goes. The tree took over.
I don't even know how that happens.
This is a 1951 Ford, and they had a 1.5 ton, 2 ton rear end on this thing. And I sold a rear end out of it later in life.
That for sure.
But they made this truck. Yeah, they made the back of the truck. It was just a cab chassis. And they built all this.
I got you.
They built all this to make a tow truck out of it, a wrecker.
So you would just buy the cab then?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Originally it was just a cab and chassis, and the guy built all that and made a wrecker out of it. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
What about this Duster over here?
That's a little 318 car, console automatic, bucket seat car, but we pulled the engine out of it and put the engine in a pickup truck, and I just kept the car. But it's orange and black, and it's kind of a weird car.
With a white top?
Yeah, go on the other side and look inside that car. And it was in good shape when I parked it, but it's bad now. But don't you look at the inside?
Oh no, it's
You're talking about weird colors. You're talking about a weird color car. But it's black and white. I mean, yeah, black and red. It's like a Halloween car.
Oh, well, they did make those.
Yeah, yeah. The upholstery was just weird in this.
Yeah, that is.
It was just weird.
I think that if I ever do a Mopar, that's the seats that I'm going to go for.
Yeah.
Black with the red, man. That is a killer looking interior.
Yeah, this one had a white vinyl top on it.
Yeah, with the black carpet and the red. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That is killer.
That was, and it was in good shape when I brought it. When I brought it up here, it was good, but you know, time flies when you're just having fun. This right here, it's a little, we call it the hunting buggy.
Okay.
In 1970, there's no 3-wheelers or 4-wheelers or nothing. And my dad, he has a bad back, so he can't walk very far. So my dad, and I was just a kid, okay, I was 12, I helped. And my cousin, they built this. This has a Renault car rear end cut down, and it has the Renault front end. This is all Renault. I don't know what front end, but it's a Renault rear end. It come out of a little 60 model something car.
Sure.
Standard transmission, has reverse and everything. This thing has like a 15 horse Tecumseh engine, single cylinder engine. My daddy, he rigged all this up back then, and he has a starter up here. He has a starter and it's belt out here. My daddy, he put electric starts. See, back in the day, you had to hand crank or pull a rope to start these engines. My daddy, he built all this. This is 1970. He made him a 4-wheeler. It has stick steering. This is the steering. It has stick steering. Just pull it right, left and right. You know, it's stick steering, but it has reverse, electric start. And my daddy drove this to the deer stand in the winter, and while he was hunting and down to the lake fishing. Back in the day, we had a little knob on it. We could carry the aluminum boat down there, and my daddy rode this everywhere. Well, in 1984, November of '84, I felt sorry for my dad because this thing was no shocks on it, so it beat you to death. Oh. I went to Honda shopping in Bossier City, and I bought a brand new 250 SX 3-wheeler, brand new. It has mono suspension, it has reverse, it has electric start. It's best of the best. It's 85 model. I bought it in November of '84 when they come out.
Okay.
And I gave it to my daddy. I gave it to my dad.
Retired.
And he parked this. He parked this. This thing would beat. And my dad's best friend would go with him, so they had this tractor seat. So my dad's best friend would ride with him.
So this is the first 4-wheeler.
This is the first 4-wheeler right here, 1970. Yeah, yeah. This is between '69 and '70. My daddy built this out of scraps. This is just a bunch of scrap stuff we had laying around. But that's pretty good invention.
Yeah, I'd say they did a pretty good job on that.
That's pretty good invention back in the day.
I'd ride it for sure.
You know, but that was really something to somebody to take scraps of nothing and build something that you can go to deer stand back. And us kids, all of a sudden we rode the wheels off this thing. Daddy let us ride it, you know, so we'd ride the wheels off of it.
Well, Joey, we're kind of at the end here of the junkyard. We've done the whole loop. We've gone through the woods.
Sure.
I want to just say thank you.
Yes, sir.
You know,
enjoyed it.
Just having us come down here.
I'm glad y'all come down.
Did you ever think I'd end up on your doorstep?
No, I never had the first idea you'd ever show up.
Well,
I watch your videos. I'm like, hey, that's a cool guy right there.
Well, I want to just say
really cool.
Thank you for letting us take a look.
You're welcome.
You know what I mean? We could have came the whole way down here, and you could have turned us away, and
so.
You know, I just think it was kind of meant to be.
Yeah, it's just I feel like the same way. I'm glad it turned out.
Awesome.
But I was just a kid growing up, and I never smoked and drank and partied, and I didn't do any of that. And
That's why
my
you have
grandfather
this?
told me, my grandfather said, when you turn 40, you better have 200 cars, old stuff. Okay, so I made it happen. When I turned 40, I had 214 automobiles. I had 167. I had 167 automobiles, and I was 33 years old. I owned 167 more cars and
I'm
trucks.
30, I'm a little behind.
I had 160 at 33. I had 167 at 33 years old.
Well, Joey, I would just again want to say thank you so
Oh, yeah.
much. And if you guys
Enjoyed it.
found value in this video, give us a thumbs up or a subscribe or a comment, whatever you want to do. Again, my name is Parker with Backyard Barn Finds, and you guys have a great day.